Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know you saw our beautiful faces last series, but hey, we're back at it again, and it's going to be a great one because we've got KSU COD, Kennesaw State University, versus UT Chattanooga. I hope I pronounced that right. Don't come at me on Twitter, okay? The University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, okay? I'm your host, OG Susano, joined by my co-caster, Cash, looking ever so delightable. You're looking really good, Cash, tonight. It's been a great night so far, and it's been a lot of fun being with you. I gotta say.
Absolutely. It's been a blast, and you're looking mighty spiffy as well. We've had a great night here on the desk so far. Good game between University of Southern Florida and University of Central Florida. But yeah, now as we switch gears over to KSU and UT Chattanooga, another big game ahead of us. I said the last one would go the distance. I still think this one could, but man, I don't know. We're in for a treat. College COD's been treating us well tonight.
Yeah, College COD has been giving us a delectable night of just 3-0s and a couple of close ones that we saw on the Alpha stream. But hey, on the Bravo stream, it's going to be a great one. So let's talk about that head-to-head really quickly.
Absolutely. So jumping into our head-to-head, at KSU, we saw them play earlier. They were on the Alpha stream, playing up against 16th ranked FSU, and they lost that match, unfortunately, in 4 games. So that's why you see the one loss on their record thus far against a good team, but a loss nonetheless, as Mocs are now going to be at 4-0 as well. Their last match being a win due to a forfeit. So they're going to be sitting nice at 4-0. Records are looking clean if your Mocs haven't dropped a map thus far, and up until tonight, you were also looking good for KSU. Again, you take an unfortunate loss tonight, losing both hard points and your control. They took the S&D, and something for the head-to-head worth mentioning is that up until this evening, neither team had dropped a map, and even then, neither team had 200 points scored against them by an opponent up until this week. So both teams, when they're winning, it's dominant, and all they've done is win. Again, KSU taking a tough loss tonight to start things off, but based on how they were playing, I know they're looking to bounce back and hit pretty hard tonight.
Yeah, that team is definitely going to be one that we're going to have to put a special look on because of, KSU just all around being, that aggressive team against that FSU roster we saw earlier on the Alpha stream. But let's talk about the players right now because we've got Shanka J.E., Trauma, Snake, and Este. These are some definite players that I have been following a little bit along through challengers up until the local scene here. And Trauma and Esther are going to be the ones that I'm looking at to maybe make a big difference here. Trauma definitely being that all-around player to, just being that captain to, hold the team to their highest accountability.
Definitely. I'm looking at Snake, who really went off for the team. Even Shank as well, kind of hitting all 4 players here. Snake definitely lit up in that search and destroy that we saw earlier that they took in a dominant fashion. So that's going to be the person I'm looking to play dominantly in the search and destroy, but also carry that gameplay over to both respawns that they're going to need to take.
Yep. Yeah, now we head over to the other side of the roster, and we've got none other than on the side of Chattanooga, we've got Superior, Slim, Red Chase, and Click. It's going to be an interesting roster of definitely a lot of some dominant players on this side that will, have to go the distance against a roster of KSU that just, came off of a very close loss.
Yeah, they're going to have to prove that they can push this to a Game 5 and win those. And again, having not dropped a map, you can't be too mad about that. Now, of course, they haven't played Control, similar to our last series, as Control's just been implemented. We're seeing very minimal reps on that, so it's going to be the first night for UT Chattanooga to try their hand at Control and gameplay. But not having dropped a map thus far, they're looking to take this, and if it goes the distance, well, they definitely have the gun power and the skill in these 4 players to take it in that Game 5 scenario if they find themselves there. So Chattanooga, you're looking good. You know that KSU just came off of a really close loss, so again, you can't afford to come out flat. You can't afford to come out slow in the slaying because you saw how quickly KSU turned up and how competitive, especially that map 1 was.
Yeah, it was just such a close series against an undefeated FSU. So it was really the match to, weed out those undefeated teams. And right now, we've got another undefeated team in the pool, and that's Chattanooga. So, and something I wanted to mention that when we were looking at that head-to-head was that both teams have once again, little to no experience on the Control. So that's really going to be an interesting one where the practice is going to have to be the defining factor here.
Yeah, with it just having been implemented in the past week, obviously this is going to be the first or so week of reps that we're going to see for these teams on control. So the practice has to be there. You've had to be respecting that mode and getting the reps in, because it is very much a swing mode, as we've seen even from the top and the pros all the way down through college and the amateur scene. It's definitely swing mode for a reason. So the reps are very important for that one. And if you're, I think if you're KSU, come off that loss. Again, it feels like the same thing we talked about with USF, right? You come off of a loss against a really good team. How can you hit the mental regain, and how can you bounce back? And unfortunately for Southern Florida, it didn't work out. For KSU, they're looking to make that a different story. They're looking to show that we can compete with the best of the best. We still think we are the best of the best, and we're going to come out and take a win off of an undefeated team here where we couldn't earlier tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see. And as we hop into the maps now, we get to look at our roadmap for the night. It's going to be none other than Hardpoint on Tuscan, then a Search and Destroy on Tuscan, then we go to that ever so present Control on Gavatu. And if we make it past that map 3, we'll have a Bocage Hardpoint and a Search and Destroy on Berlin. So Tuscan being the the common median here for a lot of these series. I got to ask you, Cash, why is it such a familiar map for these players?
I think it plays, it's that perfect mid-sized map to where it plays pretty decently on hard point, and the S&D isn't bad as well for it. So it's just a nice one that people like to choose. I know we saw it for the last 2 maps for Hardpoint and Search and Destroy in our previous series. So it's definitely popular in that Hardpoint Search and Destroy combo that we get back to back. And for this, we're going to see it first. So being that mid-sized map, it preps you for a big map because rotations matter and different things like that. So that's going to set you up well for your Gravity control. And then in Search and Destroy, still has enough corners and different things to check like that, where it also has that small map play. So it's just a pretty well balanced and built around map that play, obviously that A site being favored way more than any other as far as Search and Destroy goes, but still a map where it's big enough that rotations matter, and I think that's the key for these teams. And again, for KSU, you're looking to come out and win this Tuscan Hardpoint, which was one that they dropped the ball on earlier in pretty dominant fashion. So they want another crack at this one, and that's what we're loading up into now.
Yeah, and I like how you broke that down, because my goodness, when I think of Chattanooga, they have no experience on control. When we were talking about it a little bit earlier, this roster, they wanna be the undefeated pool. They want to go up against FSU, because clearly KSU did not, it just unfortunately was not in their cards for tonight. But hey, if Chattanooga can take this one, then definitely we'll be seeing that matchup here pretty soon.
Absolutely, and this P1's going to break, and usually bloodbath, grenades everywhere to start. Pretty standard stuff coming off of this P1. KSU looking to hold on to these right side of the map spawns as we look ahead towards that P2, and early time going to go the way of Chattanooga as just the battle is ensuing around this point. Player 4 trying to get mid-map control, possibly push up and look to try to push out spawns here as we have these KSU players spawning top right.
And you do see Chattanooga already in charge of the hill, 25-0. KSU have not been able to really get on the hill. Right here, big kill from Red Chase, but he's going to get taken down. So Slim going to have to try and help out the team here with the hill, but there's only 10 seconds left. You got to hit that rotation, and it looks as though the only person that's really going to be able to get onto it is Red Chase. So right immediately, they're back on the point gaining. But you right now on the side of KSU, nobody really in position to, try and stop this movement towards mid, but Red Chase is going to be able to get that information real quick with that glide bomb being ever so present here in the map.
Not wasting any time on the streak use, as Red Chase did go on a 6 spree in that first hard point to go and get full streaks for the team. They're not going to waste any time. They're going to break in, get 3 down in the feed behind the kill streak, end up flipping out KSU, and essentially a perfect break here for P2 to get the time with majority of it left. Now it's just a matter of hanging on. The second break coming in from UT Chattanooga now shut down. They're going to be in control of this P3 as it rotates over, but with 20 seconds, very comfortably going the way of Chattanooga, growing the lead up to 50. KSU definitely are going to need a good hold on P3 here.
Yeah, and right now you look at Click, he's been doing pretty well on the hills. He's got a minute so far out of these two. So right now with the rotation already being on the side of KSU, this could really be their chance to make it back here. Shank going to be making his way onto the site. Great play right here to be able to hold it off and looking towards the Zig in mid. And right now Red Chase and Co, they're making their way through the graveyard on P1. And that's going to be huge if they can get this kill, but he does know that the player's moving in. Trauma, though, gives up the play there, but now you see the straight front coming in. No casualties, but Slim able to get that player off of that back position, and it's just lighting up white all over on the kill board.
UT Chattanooga having no problems breaking into hills, especially behind the slaying of Red Chase at 14-4, so that's definitely something that's going to lead and pave the way for you here on a Tuscan hardpoint, as now they are in firm control of this P3. Another break trying to come in for the side of KSU COD, and they're able to dip their toes in but not quite get control yet, because once again, as long as Red Chase is upright on the map, it's going to be a problem. And most of the time, for all of these hills going the way of Chattanooga, you're going to see them now with over an 80-point lead. KSU COD going to have to make an answer here, but again, on the rotation battle, if UT Chattanooga is not winning it, which they are here, they've been able to break. So now we're going to see an early break try to come in from KSU. It's got to be coordinated, and it's got to go your way.
Yeah, and right now, you look at the side of Slim, he gets that shot, but unfortunately Shank wins it with MP40. Church being the position of interest, and Red Chase, nice little, back and forth snap-on shots there, but he goes for the top, and he sees Snake. Snake, unfortunately, though, gets taken out by Slim now, and everybody on the side of Mox just really playing overall very solid. And they're just making sure their influence is felt all over the map. And players on the side of KSU have yet to really even touch a full hill.
Yeah, they really haven't. And that's what 30 points will get you, right? They've only been able to get little bits of scrap time or initial bits of time. Click.
Oh.
Gonna get information and take off running, not end up killing that player, just running around him. So interesting play there.
Ooh.
As now the transition is going to be made flawlessly over to this next hill is going to pop. Didn't kill the player, therefore didn't give away their position. Popped the two-piece and now has control of the hill for Chattanooga. So wonderful heads up and high IQ play from Click.
I think that, like you said, that's really such a high IQ play there. It just made the play, the decision to, hey, this player in mid, while it's an easy kill, I'm not going to take it because I want to get in and do the maximum damage. And he immediately stops the rotation, and now these players are just suffering from it. Currently on a 6 streak, full streaks in hand, and they are doing exceptionally well. But what it doesn't realize right now is that the fight is towards mid. So he does see it now, and he's going to go for it like a dog going for a nice piece of steak. He's on the hunt, and now they're going to be able to break that 200-point threshold here pretty soon. Rotation already being the reaper of it.
Able to shoot one in the back there. KSU just looked lost on the map at the moment compared to how well and competitively they played against Florida State, especially to start that series. We're just seeing a completely different team out of KSU, and maybe that's just the tip to Chattanooga's dominance and awareness, but right now, Red Chase and Click are doing whatever they want, and this is just unbelievable gameplay from them. I was not expecting KSU to come out this slow based on what we had seen against the 16th ranked team, but Chattanooga giving it to them is, right now, you're just trying to get the guns warm. If you're Chattanooga, just trying to close this one out and get your life on, get on the map too.
And you do hear a prayer from heaven. That's going to be a glide bomb coming in. It's going to be able to kill Snake as well. So now these players from KSU, while it looked like they had a bit of a second wind here, it immediately snuffed out. Right now, Click immediately slides onto the site, going to get shot down, unfortunately, 224-45. And it's looking very bleak for the side of KSU while they do win this scrap.
Yeah, definitely getting the scrap if they can. They got more points there than the last 4 hills. So for KSU, stringing a little bit of something together, but I think it's most definitely going to be too little too late as all 3 players anywhere near the hill get chopped down. A little bit of a spawn flip coming in here. KSU going to be spawning much closer, but if you're Chattanooga, no problem. They've been slaying out fine thus far. It's just a matter of doing the same to close this one out, now needing 10 points. KSU got to be flawless. They get the slay out, and now they're getting the hill time.
Yeah, they need to play essentially just perfect Call of Duty here, perfect hardpoint. But there are streaks available for the side of Chattanooga, though. So this will be definitely a very hard one. And there you go. There comes the strafing run. But unfortunately, Click does kill Red Chase. That's going to be his fellow Slayer. Shank, though, sees this player on the side, goes for it, but it's not going to happen. That's great awareness out of the young gun there. But KSU do win the hill. 15 seconds left in it. And 7 seconds only needed for COD to just win this. So Red Chase on a nice 3 spree right there. And it looks as though they are going to be able to win that. 250. Oh my gosh. That was just insane. 250 to 72.
Yeah. Just that. That was insane. Chattanooga coming out and showing why they're still undefeated. And also showing why they haven't dropped the map. Wonderful clinical hard point from the side of the Chattanooga squad. 33-12 for Red Chase. 24-9 for Click. And the other two, I mean, yeah, they pulled the weight that they could. There wasn't much weight left to pull after that. Still, at 11-11 and 16 and 15. Again, slow starts for Trauma and Shank on the side of KSU. Not too much better from the other teammates, especially whenever the opposing team is doing that on the map. It's hard to have an answer for that. So,
yeah,
you just got a mental wipe and move on to the next one. Chattanooga looking strong.
Yeah, and we look at the stats right now. Red Chase, 26 non-traded kills. That is absolutely insane. He went 33-12, but you also have the mentioned Click there, 24-9 with 21 non-traded kills. Just the big brain plays from the side of Chattanooga have just been absolutely insane. Map awareness, Cash, has just been absolutely the theme of tonight.
Yeah. It has. I don't have anything much more to say than that. It really was map awareness. And in the map that we saw KSU lose to FSU in a really dominant fashion compared to how the series was going, it was a Tuscan hardpoint. Maybe this team, it's just not their preferred map. That could very well be the case. Maybe they're going to give us a much more competitive search and destroy. They kind of have to, because right now it looks like Chattanooga can run with it. I know it's early in the series. I know there's still a lot of game left to be played, but just based on that showing alone, KSU didn't put up too much of a fight for that. So the S&D definitely has to be more competitive. But again, maybe based off what we've seen tonight, Tuscan's just not their map.
Yeah, maybe Tuscan isn't, but then again, we have Tuscan as well for this next map on Search and Destroy. So that'll be an interesting one if KSU can just, shake off that uncomfortableness that they had this last map and in that last series against FSU, and maybe just, turn up this time. Maybe have a better Search and Destroy, that during that FSU game. You had Daniel Exile, who was doing a lot of great work with the AR, and it was just a little bit of a hard one to try and compete against his roster. But hey, maybe this time on Chattanooga, you do have Red Chase, who's just been absolutely slaying out. So maybe if you kill Red Chase, that's their, player bounty to try and go against.
Yeah. Yeah, having an answer for the leading Slayer on Chattanooga, and that can vary from respawn to search and destroy. Maybe it'd be Red Chase, maybe it'd be Click, maybe a player that was slower in the respawn will turn up here in the search and destroy. So for KSU, it's having an answer for their leading Slayer, getting them off the map and winning those first blood battles and keeping your life, right? Of course, if you can trade it, that's going to be great if you get blooded, but if you can get the blood and get out with your life, that's going to be huge, especially on a map like Tuscan, where you can play your life and get away and just go run away somewhere else. There's so many places you can go to try and confuse the other team, so definitely want to see them try to do that, try to win the first blood battle. The slaying definitely didn't go their way that first series, or that first map, but they can start to turn things around here, especially in a slower mode like Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that there's a lot of, misdirection plays that go on Tuscan. We saw immediately that first play on the hard point where Click was in the back. He saw that player in mid, and that misdirection just immediately, hey, I'm not going to do that play. I'm going to go for the hill immediately and just absolutely slay out. So maybe we'll see something more like that here again. Maybe we'll see if Chattanooga can try and keep up their big brain plays and just keep that map awareness. But we'll have to see in just a bit. Make sure you guys go check out our stream on the Alpha channel, because there is nonstop Call of Duty tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll take a short break on the intermission right now, and we'll get right back to you in just a second.
Welcome back, everyone. Quick little intermission there as we got the lobby sorted. We are now back. KSU, UC Chattanooga. Chattanooga up 1-0 in the series after taking a very dominant Tuscan hardpoint. We're going to go over to a Tuscan S&D next. If you're KSU COD, what do you got to do differently? It feels like the map awareness isn't quite there for him. obviously we're going back-to-back Tuscan, so what do they need to sort out before we get over to this control?
I feel like KSU just need a regain. I know that FSU game was a bit of a rough one in terms of your mental, but it can't continue on over here. Chattanooga, while they are in their own respects big slayers and, just a well all-around team, you got to bring your A game. Even though these guys aren't ranked, you got to treat them like if they are the best in the game, and you got to make sure that you're bringing your A game as well.
Definitely got to come out. Again, with both of our series, whatever it's been, right? It's been hard to take that regain after playing those two top teams. So just got to sort it out. Trust the gunplay and the competitiveness. They showed it against a really good team too. So Chattanooga, of course, we've established, right, really good team as well. It's hard to do that back to back in a night. It's a big ask, but KSU, if they have the grit and the resilience, they can definitely pull it out and do it. But again, you can't go down 0-2 in the series. That just sometimes can be a pip too big to dig yourself out of. And so you want to try to keep the series as even as possible, push it the distance where you can, rip off the maps that you can. As we look to go Tuscan, Gavatu, Bacage, and Berlin, if you can stretch it out to that Berlin S&D, maybe you stand a better chance at getting something coin tossy there in the game 5. So again, still early. They had a really dominant search and destroy earlier tonight that kind of shocked everyone against FSU. So they might do the same thing here. It's early to tell, but the way they lost that first one, momentum's definitely favoring Chattanooga.
Yeah, momentum is definitely on their side. And, with all these breaks that we've been having, maybe this is the time for KSU to, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, Cash. I don't want to be that guy, but maybe it's time to get in the huddle, Hey,
Infamous huddle.
Let's talk it out. What did we do wrong? Is your energy off? Is the vibes off? Yeah, you need a water? Like, what's going on here, Get the mindset back going. Hit the regain. Think about what you want to do in this search and destroy, because Tuscan seems that it is Chattanooga's backyard, and they know how to play it. So we gotta come in here strapped, ready to go, with a mentality that'll give us championships.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like a broken record, and it sounds like the same thing day in and day out for search and destroy, but you can't look too far ahead if you're KSU. Map 1 is done and dusted. Forget about it. It's over. You got to have that goldfish memory, 10-second memory, wipe it from your mind, and going into the search and destroy, it's got to be one round at a time. You can't get worried if you're even in a hole. You can't say, oh, it's 3-0, man, they only need 3 to win. Look at every round like it's 0-0, and you've got to go out and win 6 individual rounds. That's going to be the best way for their mental to be able to regain and kind of bounce back from this. And again, they have dominant search and destroy, so they could very well be in control, and we just are loading in and just about to see it. That could very well be the case, and we could drop 1-1 here, but they're going to need the mental regain, especially after taking 2 pretty bad hardpoint losses between their 2 series.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have worded it better. But right here, you can see immediately Click gets that player off of mid. Snake, though, he did out slim from the back with that stun. So right now, Red Chase, they have a comfortable position already with the first blood being on the side of Chattanooga right now. They're looking pretty okay. They know that the bomb is down, but unfortunately, though, Red Chase gets off-angled by Snake. So right now, Snake, he still knows Slim is back here, and he's immediately going to go for the aggressive chow. Unfortunately, though, for him, Slim does get away. So back to a 3v3. And it looks as though Click immediately, once again, gets the player off bomb.
Chattanooga, very much with a mid-map control here in this little courtyard area, as Shank is going to get one. Running around mid-map. Bomb is down on this A site, and they know it. They made eye contact as the bomb was trying to go down, so they're aware of that. It's up to KSU to work this mid-map and get the bomb down. Player 7 just watching this deep playthrough here. Both players could be looking to work a pinch. Actually, it's going to be Est behind the player. That clears the A site now. Player 7 is going to fly over, try to make the play, but they might wrap to B. This could be a super big heads-up play. Out of KSU to go to B. We'll see what read player 7 decides to make.
Yeah, if Superior can get this kill off of bomb, this is going to be huge, which he does. Now he can just run away. Just needs to run away, maybe check back in 5 seconds. But it's actually not going to happen with Shank just going for the aggression. He wants this player, but not enough time. And there you go. Chattanooga, what a great play right there to be able to just get the bomb planter and just play off of it.
What I thought was heads up and a big brain rotation out of KSU. Chattanooga player was one step ahead of that. So just really, really big heads up play to say, I'm just going to go try to hard read this at B, see if they try to slip through. And that's exactly what they did. Like you said, go for that bomb planter, knows that there's 9 seconds left on the clock. Tuscan's that map again. You can take off running. That misdirection that we talked about in the pregame lobby type of thing, where it's take off running and you got to come find me. And that's exactly how Chattanooga played that. So we'll see how they opt to go on this defense. I like the fast playing out of them that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to get your round timer down to 45 seconds. So you immediately can just play off of that misdirection like we talked about. So now, Trauma, he's going to be holding his top ankle. Shank as well. They know that these players are all around A, so he's going to go for a bit of a nade throw. Trauma gets off Slim. There you go. Now 3v4. KSU in the numbers, but Click immediately brings it back down. 25 seconds left, and it is looking like it's coming to a stalemate here.
A stalemate that if you're Chattanooga, you're glad, and if you're KSU, you're not. You cannot play it too slow because, again, you just run out of time. So even though Snake's going to pick off one there in the back, it's going to be 1v2. Both arrows just know we just got to kill the clock. Maybe we can peek around and get this kill, and that's what we're going to do. Chattanooga very much in the driver's seat, not only in Tuscan Hardpoint, but on Tuscan Search and Destroy. They're going to go up 2-0 early.
Yeah, very strong showing indeed. I thought it was going to be a bit of a rough one with them just, hanging around A like that. But hey, it's Chattanooga. My goodness, they just showed us the extreme awareness that they have already been showing us on that map 1. Got onto the bomb immediately and just started playing angles right there. And then it came down to a bit of a trade-off. But hey, Chattanooga just had that tenacity and that perseverance to win that round.
Yeah, and the decisiveness that did it. It was like 15 seconds of the round, the bomb was already down, and again, they had the clock working in their favor, so they're just moving really decisively around the map. All 4 arrows know what they need to be doing, pointing where they need to be, making the aggressive plays that they need. We're going to see Click Challop here, and right now, can't lose a gunfight. Click is sitting at 6-1 on a 4 streak, just having his way. Does get traded out, but yeah, you trade out 1 if you're KSU, and then 2 more get immediately traded out if you're Chattanooga. So again, the slang just being another problem, carrying over from the respawn. Est left in a 1v2. Could ISO out 2 1v1s, but now that they know where he's at, it's just a matter of the collapse.
Exactly, and the bomb is down as well. So this is going to be another independent variable that he's going to have to factor in here. Superior, once again, finds him on that angle towards the mid-zig. So Superior going to be waiting out a bit, running that time. He doesn't need to overextend at all because right now it looks as though he finds the player, immediately wins that one, and there you go. Chattanooga with their 3rd round in a row. I got to ask you, Castro, when you look at the side of KSU, what's really going through their mind right now after losing 3 rounds in a row?
Man, I don't know. I can't obviously speak for players, but I think it seems so disengaged from the map in a sense. There's again maybe the presence and then the map awareness that Chattanooga has. They just don't know how to respond. But for how tightly they played that FSU game, they just don't look to have any kind of grit left in them right now. They look a little bit checked out. So they're going to need a decisive answer. They're going to have a response for Click here in this round and get him off the map early, as we're going to see another early bomb plant go down on A. We just need a response and need to see some life from this team.
Exactly. It's going to be a great play from them to be able to get the bomb down, lowers down the timer overall. And once again, we're at this position where these players are just holding this A spot to the T. Snake, though, able to get Red Chase right off angle. But you do have that one player lurking around. That's going to be none other than Slim towards the mid. So right now, it's a bit of a fight towards the graveyard, but 23 seconds. And you really have to start thinking what you're going to do here.
Yeah, and Chattanooga are just putting themselves in a best position for success as Click's gonna rip off 3. Rip off the ace on the round. I just again, whenever you're Chattanooga, they're just playing so smart. You can tell that this team just has it figured out. You get the bomb down fast, and now all of a sudden KSU has to come to us. We just get to sit back in our spawn. We get to sit back in our power positions, hold those angles, and call it a day. That's exactly what they're doing. They're forcing KSU to have to come to them, forcing the mistakes out of this team. And once again, KSU, they just don't have an answer. Click on another 4 streak here.
Yeah, very, very, very definitive lead from the side of Chattanooga right now. Snake, though, going for the graveyard over here on the right. And Trauma throws a stun under Church to try and figure out a player. But Superior, he's got the AR dead locked on. Click gets the trade off of Shank right there from Red Chase. And immediately Trauma goes for what looks to be the plant. So Click is going to be the one to immediately move on that intel. But you do see the player and get some nice shots in. But Slim over there towards the right gets taken out by Snake.
2v3. First time in a long time KSU has had any kind of life advantage. So a pinch going to have to be worked in from these 2 players. And If Click's alive, you feel good about it, but Snake's going to take one now, 1v3 situation. Excuse me, 1v2, 23 seconds left, not much time to work with. So once again, if you're KSU, you can find success by getting that bomb down, force the clock to work in your favor. That's exactly what they're doing. So even if Click can get this kill, these players are just running away. It's going to have to be a bomb hop, and they're not going to have to be able to check back, but it's not going to be the case.
Oh man, but even then, Click still moving around so aggressively, but Este's going to be able to get that kill. So there you go, KSU. Now put one up on the board, not going quietly into the night.
And hopefully they recognize this as an adjustment that they need to continue going forward. Let's take a page out of Chattanooga's book. Let's get a quick bomb plant down. That exactly. I mean, again, the lives ended up shaking down to being in their favor too, so that helps. But you have the clock in the back of their minds. We have to work around this. They have to make a play on this at some point. And then they took off running with their lives. So a good adjustment that I hope they continue on as the series goes on. Chattanooga only needing 2 rounds here. KSU still alive in it, not match point yet. So maybe a throwaway round for Chattanooga. But with behind the slang that they have out of Click, they're looking just fine. Once again, it's the POV of Red Chase getting this bomb down here within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, it just amazes me how every time KSU just allows that to happen.
Yeah.
So right now, you really have to think, Cash, like, where's their oversight in this map?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a hard point where, again, these gunfights, it's almost like they weren't ready for them in a sense, or they weren't ready for the positioning that Chattanooga was going to take. It's been 4 offensive rounds in a row that Chattanooga has done a quick plant on this A site, and they don't have an answer for it. They don't have someone there to even contest it. It's going down uncontested, and so now you're left once again in a 1v2 situation. It sounds like, again, I know we're saying the same thing over and over, but at some point you've got to make that adjustment. And if you're not, you can't expect the game to go any differently. They're letting them get these bomb plants for free, in turn losing the first blood battles, and now put themselves in a bind that they can't get themselves out of, and it's 5-1 match point.
Yeah, 5-1 now. We're at the match point for the side of Chattanooga, and you gotta look at the side of Chattanooga right now. Click 14-3. This guy S&D is literally like the back of his hand. This guy just knows where to be, where to position himself, and just makes these plays like if it's nothing.
Yeah. Interesting play possibly out of KSU. This gunfight has to go their way, and it does, but that's going to be information for Chattanooga that, hey, a B hit's possibly coming. Click's like, don't worry about it. I'll MP40 rip him off of the heady. No problem. Click doing his thing and having his way. Doesn't even need the teammates to do anything else. The Snake rips off 2 there. Now a 2v1 situation, and if I want anyone alive, I want Click, and now it's going to go down to a 1v1. Both players know this bomb's going to be over on this B side, but right now they're just trying to play for information. A streak going to come in, and that's all the info that Click's going to need.
Exactly, and he's going to just try and glide that one into the church, but not going to happen. But he knows where he is. Like you said, information has been given. He even has a strafing run if he wants to get saucy with it, but immediately goes for the mid-chow and wins that one. Chattanooga, 6-1 victory, now 2-0 in the series.
1v2 clutch for Click.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was 3 kills on the round, so 17-13. I mean, even in a respawn, that's still a decent stat line. So to be putting up numbers like that, going very much over positive. Rest of the team not really having to worry about too much, just playing behind the play of Click. 2,000 damage dealt. Not too bad, though, at least for Snake on the side of KSU, right? 9-7. That's still not a bad stat line. 1,200 damage, but again, just nothing from the teammates. And unfortunately, on their offensive rounds, couldn't get the bomb plant figured out in a sense that it would work to their advantage. But when they did, the round worked out in their favor. So just something that they didn't make the adjustment soon enough. Same tale with their hard point. Now as we go into this control, where again, it's been played minimally, we've got to see it all strung together. It feels like I'm talking over the USF-UCF match where it's just we need to see the KSU, we need to see them string it together. We need to see them put together all of the pieces of decisiveness and rotations and everything, especially for Gavitu control. We'll see if they can do it. They're not out of it yet, but the way Chattanooga's been playing, you just look at slang alone for Chattanooga, and they just don't have an answer.
Yeah, there really isn't much of an answer for the side of KSU right now because, my goodness, when you look at just how these matches have been played, 6-1 S&D, a 250-72 on the first hard point. Whew, man, I gotta take a step back. Like, I need to take a step back because that is just. I feel like if I'm KSU right now, I'm getting drowned underwater, and I am
Honestly.
just begging to breathe right now. You know.
Definitely. You want to see them step up and again catch that breath, get that bit of life in them. They haven't caught a break because Chattanooga is not letting up. Now, does Chattanooga let off, play a little bit too lax in this control, maybe let KSU get some momentum? Hopefully not. If you're Chattanooga, you want to close it out here, 3-0 fashion, get it over with. And if you're KSU, you've got to still have some grit left, some fight left in you to try and take this one the distance because that's your only option now, down 0-2 in the series.
Yeah, down 2-0, and Chattanooga, like you said, just not even taking their foot off the pedal. Feels like they're just pressing down on it harder and just keep on going in, gassing their way through these maps. And right now, we're back at it on control. Gavitu being the definitive factor for this series. I think honestly, Chattanooga is just gonna keep up that momentum and just keep it rolling, just steamroll it.
Absolutely. I agree. And both of the series I predicted that, hey, they could go the distance. It's two teams that are pretty similar in pool placing. This is going to go, if anyone's going to go the distance, it'll be these two. And it's not been the case tonight at all. Both teams for either series wanted to just put it away and move on. So Chattanooga on a Gavitu control, something that we've seen go very slay heavy, especially on defense, right? If you're on that A point, even if they capture it, man, if you set up at that boat, it is so hard to get a break there and so hard to get off your spawn, especially if they have a line set up from ring down to the boat. I mean, we saw what happened last series. You just form a formation, cut them down, and there's not much else you can do. So I think the slaying, not going to be a problem for Chattanooga, definitely going to be one for KSU. You've got to get warm and work as a team, get these points secured early, and do what you can to claw your way back in.
Yeah, clawing your way back in is a bit of a tough statement, but yeah, it's true. You're gonna need to just try to regain. I know we talked about the huddle, but man, it seems like the huddle's not even working right now. I just feel like you need to go to each other's setups and just tell each other, hey, let's wake up, let's get it going, let's roll it, because we're KSU, we know who we are, we know what we're about. Kennesaw State University represent, but hey, Chattanooga is over there on the side of Tennessee. Just absolutely steamrolling these maps. And I know we talked a little bit about them in the pre-lobby with just how dominant they've been, but right now, this is a whole new type of dominance that I've yet to see in the CCL.
This is, and like we'd mentioned for both teams, their schedules only get harder as play continues. So if you're Chattanooga, you feel pretty good about it. You're coming out and putting on a show for the rest of the teams in your pool, saying, hey, we're not here to play games, we're not here to mess around. We win, and we win dominantly. We haven't dropped a map so far in pool play, and we don't plan on it tonight. So KSU potentially coming off tonight. What was 4-0 coming into it could be 4-2 coming out of it. So again, a season changer here. Of course, there's still a lot left to be played. Not only in the series, but of course in pool play. There's still plenty of opportunity to turn around. But to drop 2 maps here, you definitely got to say, whoa, pump the brakes. We got to figure out where we're going because our season only gets harder. We need to find a way to be able to bounce back. So that's something they're going to need to do tonight, definitely.
Yeah, and I believe we've got everybody ready in the lobby. We're just currently waiting for them to start. But yeah, overall, I think this Chattanooga team has just been absolutely blowing away our expectations of them. They've just been showing that how dominant they are as a team, as a roster, and as players. You especially talk about Click, that last map, in the S&D, it was just absolutely dominating each and every aspect and facet of the game. I like you talked about in that last round. If I want somebody in that round 11, or in that last 1v1, it's gonna be Click.
Absolutely, definitely, Click was the guy for him there in that search and destroy, without a doubt. And it was, it was everyone else too doing it in the respawns, of course. But man, this team, they look well rounded, they look well repped, and even though we haven't seen too much control to start in the CCL, I have a feeling Chattanooga's got no problem with it. So they're going to start off on the defensive side here. In KSU take off flying here at this A site, we need to see them string something together here.
Exactly. And now as we hop in, you're going to see immediately Slim checks himself out, unfortunately, a little bit early. Takes a bit of a siesta in the spawn screen. But hey, that's no problem because you've got Superior and Red Chase that stop that movement immediately onto the hill. But you have 2 players, top of the boat. That's Este and Trauma. but no players able to really get onto the hill just yet, as we now head towards a bit of a movement from none other than Slim, who might be going for a bit of a flank there inside of the map, but Snake gets a big kill. Este, like we saw in that last series, they're just really focusing on map control right now.
Yeah, they are, and now they're trying to work on this A point, but it's Slim in a great position to work a pinch here, rip these players off this hill, and just work a nice pinch. That's exactly what comes in, and now clears these players off the hill for the time being. Trauma just trying to hold it down from the top, but it's dangerous when you get to that ring side, like where Click is. You can just cut these players off as they cross, and that's what Click's going to look to do. So minimal progress here, 30 seconds left for KSU. You've got a couple more hits at it.
Yeah, you have maybe 1 or 2 more pushes here, but it looks like it's not really going to happen with Red Chase just holding as much as he can. He's 1 off from the glide bomb. He does get an off angle and immediately goes for a kill, but it's just too much to chew there. But Click now being the last player to move in. This is the player you want in this scenario. 11 seconds left. Nobody able to challenge just yet. Snake gets his head taken off almost, but hey, you have Red Chase and Slim who spawned up just in time to help out. 5 seconds left. Shank trying to get onto the site, and it looks as though Superior and Co. They're occupying it, and there you go. Round 1 going into Chattanooga.
18-13 in the life count. Nothing too crazy, but right at the perfect time, Chattanooga knew we get this clearance on A, now they advance, right? If you were to draw a 50-yard line right in the middle of the map, Chattanooga was just beyond that on the KSU side, and so that just kept them pinned in those bottom left-hand spawns that we see. And on offense, that's so hard to get out of that. You need kills, you need clearance to do that. And again, with the timing that Chattanooga made that play, KSU didn't have time to get clearance and make a play on the point. It was far too late. So even though lives didn't come down to it, just the timing on the map and their presence, Chattanooga making it all felt here as they're going to try to go for an early B hit.
Yeah, you do see right there, great positioning out of Este, going to be able to get those players off angle, but Slim hanging out towards the coastline, but Click gets a nice 2-piece at the top. He's going to get taken out, but Slim immediately responding to this information, gets this player off now, is able to find out that these players are now moved towards A, but hey, you know, on the side of KSU, you gotta tip that there was some great positioning plays there, but right now, we're back at a true neutral.
Yeah, really great job getting to good positions, anticipating a B hit, and holding it off, because that could have blown this round wide open had they gotten clearance to get on that B point. You capture the harder one first, and that makes life more difficult. So they hold off the first wave here. We'll see as they get wiped if they can get clearance and get back onto this A point. All 4 players coming off of spawn. But good job if you're KSU to hold off on defense to start.
Yeah, and you do see right there, nice little progression coming in onto that A site. That's Red Chase holding the top position. Click in the site, making it a big problem for the side of KSU. Superior gets that player off of mid. Now, adding on to the force here, looks as though that this A site going to be secured ASAP. The players on the side of KSU have already rotated onto this area of influence, but it looks as though that none other than Click, who's going to be making his way to the spawn, he's going to be a problem here.
Player 4 Trauma waiting for something to happen, waiting for these players to come off spawn for Chattanooga, but no one's dropped up until the last few moments. So finally able to have this cross and get this information related cross. Should be able to get a couple of free kills here. And now this should put KSU in position, if they can get this final player wiped, to have good map position and presence to hold on defense. Chattanooga's going to have a minute 15, up 6 in lives, and plenty of time for some more hits on this.
Yeah, and you see right here, Slim, gets that big kill on the Shank. Click now, making his way towards the mid. Sees that player, takes out Snake, 10-17 in terms of live. Click trying to stay up, but he sees that player in the corner of his eye, but it's not enough time to react. B-site hasn't been secured to the first tick at least. So, Trauma going to take advantage of this movement and maybe try to get these players off of the spawn. But Red Chase and Click, unfortunately, being the first ones to the gauntlet there. Click, though, oh no, Trauma runs out of ammo. Not going to be able to have anything just yet. Going to get shot down, 8-11 in terms of the lives. And there's 45 seconds left here, Cash.
Casey's done a good job getting to positions where they can even the life count up. Now it's a 3 life disparity, and you've got the time on your side. So if you can hold off this last hit, it might be too much for these players to get across the map and have to do. You just need one more clearance, and you can get yourself around. Again, get some life. This is looking good for KSU on defense. It's just one more hold. Here comes a hit now from Chattanooga.
And You see Red Chase. Oh, nice kill right there on the shank. But fortunately, though, KSU are going to be able to stay up alive here. 4 to 8 in terms of lives. Slim is going to need to stay on this hill. This is essential because right now there's 18 seconds. Even if you are up in terms of manpower, it's just not going to look too good if you lose in terms of the timer. So 3 to 6 right now in terms of live click. He's going to have to run to the hill here. He needs to get his team going. There's only a 3v6 right now in terms of the lives. And it looks as though the contest is going to come in right now. 1 second left, and oh, he's going to get taken down. And KSU win that one by the skin of their teeth.
From the top beach play, I believe that was Trauma there, took care of business on that critical 1v1 that would have opened up the point. Click maybe thought that his teammate was going to win that one. Unfortunately, didn't. So now Click was stuck in a pinch, and unfortunately, the timing didn't work out. So a KSU hold. They get to good positioning. It nearly came down to lives, but again, it was a matter of, like we said, getting that one wipe, knowing there's not enough time for them to get back on the point. They do just that. We'll see how they look to opt to take this offense. Maybe try to get something going here, any decisive gameplay, but great response from KSU to the dominant round that Chattanooga opened with.
Ooh, nice opener from Trauma there. Going to be able to get Slim off angle. Minute 15 right now, 30 to 29. Trauma on a 5 spree. That's going to give him a glide bomb. But it looks as though A going to start being secured here pretty soon. Slim gets Snake off hill. Trauma still in mid being a problem. But he does see Slim on the top of boat. So Slim's unfortunately might be the one to be on the side of his gauntlet. But hey, you do have these players from the side of KSU slowly but surely making their way onto the site.
Making their way there, but it's not a forefronted effort. And so whenever you're trickling in 1 to 2 players, especially against the front that Chattanooga can put up on defense, it's going to be hard to break into this hill. They don't look super decisive. Players are even be trying to go for a B hit. I'd more so like to see them get map control, get clearance, and really go for one hill instead of just one-off hitting these other ones. Because, again, the slang still favoring the side of Chattanooga. Trauma, though, putting in work for the side of KSU. But now they finally get their first 4-down clearance, but with these players spawning so close, it's just not amounting to much. No one's quite getting time or presence here on this A site.
Oh, and you do see right there, Superior did try to get a rat kill on the top. But hey, like you said, they're just spawning up really close right now. KSU finally progressed to the first stick at A, but 28 seconds overall. You're going to need to get these players on here pretty fast because right now, Chattanooga, even though they're going down, they're coming back raring to go. And that's another 3 down. 4th going to be coming in here pretty soon from Click. And now you're just being put to the test here. Shank going to be able to make his way into the site. Unfortunately, though, he's going to meet some opposition from Click. 10 seconds left, and there is no way that these players are going to be able to get on without a bit of some scratches.
The play where we had players sitting top boat, not really looking for any of these players close up on the boat. It was just a matter of when Chattanooga wanted to collapse on the hill, they knew they could do just that. So if you're top boat, you've got to be more aware of where these players are spawning up at, where they're coming from, and getting that called out to your team. It's almost like the player was not looking quite close enough at the hill as far as vicinity that these players were actually in. And whenever UT Chattanooga wanted to collapse, they did just that and cleared these players off. So they didn't give themselves any room for error, and unfortunately didn't look like they were in the greatest of positioning to call out those players. So Chattanooga going to take 2 defenses. KSU are going to have to answer with a defense of their own. Otherwise, their lives tonight are over, and they will be headed home here in a 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see here in the College COD League, but hey, we've been seeing a lot of it lately. Click going to be making his way towards this top of this boat, and Trauma and Shank, though, doing some big work towards mid right there, and they've just been stopping these players from having any sort of influence on the hill. But Click is still alive, so he's waiting for this player in the hill to try and challenge him, but there's no contest just yet. So Click gonna still stay up here. I think he almost saw that player jump up, but it just wasn't in the cards there, so he will still stay up here.
On a 5 streak, and there's going to be full streaks, so you feel like at any point behind those streaks they could open this round and do what they need to. No progress yet, 40 seconds left. Working to get on A's. A couple players are now going to be on this one, but Trauma holding it down on the top side, cutting these players down. Got to be more than aware that these players know his position. Don't know if they're going to be ready for this close gunfight here, and is. So as they're getting clearance on this point, Trauma's holding it down on this B push, and now we're in the same position again where KSU's getting it done on defense. They're doing well. They're holding their own, but we got to string together an offense. I think that's going to be the tail. If they can hold UT off here, it's going to be whoever gets the offense and who can hold off on defense.
Yeah, it'll really be that defining role. But right now, Red Chase, though, he is going to be able to get onto the side. Snake, though, gets taken out. So it looks as though that this B site, or A site, actually, might be secured here. There's a bit of a 3-stack now coming into the hill, but Trauma, he unfortunately does take out Click. So you will be able to get an extra bit of time here, a little bit of a minute. And right now, like you said, you just got to string together this offense. This offense is such a key play. Because right now, you look at the lives, 20-14, Chattanooga are not in a healthy position.
No, for once, KSU do have the lives in their favor, and I think that's a big pat on the back to Trauma, who held it down on the top side of the map. Now 21-14 on the series, and was able to get a glide bomb, too, out of that play. So that does help you as a safety net if you're KSU. If they are able to get on this B point, you can call in the streak, get some clearance where you need to, keep the life advantage in your favor, but you definitely don't want to throw away lives. If you're KSU, play around the streaks and the info that you have. Again, let Chattanooga come to you. You don't have to force the gameplay. They have 30 seconds left. They're down 6 lives. Let the game come to you.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left right now, this is a bit of a rough one for the side of Chattanooga. They are down 9-16 in lives. So, Slim, he's going to need to make some pickings here and start making some kills happen because Snake and Trauma, they've been doing it pretty well for themselves. But you do see Snake has been a little bit more on the lagging end in terms of kills. But their position and impact plays have been ever essential for the team.
Yeah, and unless Click can get on here, these players should collapse, but if anyone's going to make the hero play to keep the squad alive, it's going to be Click for the side of Chattanooga. These players now just trying to figure out how they want to work this. We might see a streak in just to get clearance off, and maybe not give these players time to work up the map, but right now, Click all on his own, getting this progression. The teammates are here, and Trauma's going to try to deny.
Yeah, but you do see right there, Trauma, great plays out of him to stop that movement from Chattanooga. So now they're going to take it to around 5. And it'll really just come down to who's going to get this defense, like you said earlier, Cash. I really think that it might go to the side of Chattanooga, and it is. It's going to go to them.
Neither team have won an offense here. We could see control. B1 with no offensive one, and that's definitely something that's not uncommon, especially on a map like Gavitu where it is so defensive heavy. KSU have to do the impossible to win this, to keep their series alive, and to walk out with a map win here.
Yeah, the map win going to be a big one for the side of Chattanooga, but right now, Trauma, he's got full streaks from that Slatage that he had that last one, and it looks as though that Superior going to stop that player immediately, so he will stop the tick progression for now, but Trauma does see him 28-15. He's on a 4 streak right now. He's about to get full streaks here pretty soon, even though he already has them.
Already has full streaks, so we'll see if those come into play soon to try and open up one of these sites for KSU. Snake trying to make something happen here on the top boat to get control. Fortunately, Chattanooga have not collapsed further in this map and kind of kept them pinned in that spawn that maybe a play they're looking to make here. Now with 40 seconds left, once again, you find yourself in a position with no progress being made, no map clearance or control, and it's going to be a 3-for-1 in the kill feed, and that's just been the tale of these offenses.
Yeah, and you look right now, Red Chase is going to be in that position once again to just stop this play here from getting onto the hill. Great plays out of him, and you hear the glide bomb coming in from above, and right now they've just got them in a corner, but Trauma unfortunately does not able to get any player off. So right now he's going to be able to get one player there. Click does respond in kind with his own glide bomb, but Slim, he's going to get taken down as well. So 3 seconds, Trauma. Only player able to get onto this site with a second left. Nothing to spare. Superior gets taken down as well, and there's just no chance that you can die here. You literally get off the hill, it's over. And Slim, he's going to get him off, but there's one player left on the hill. And right now, you're going to make the move if you are on the side of Chattanooga. But there you go, they get them off, and Chattanooga 3-2 victory. Very close game, and they win 3-0.
Just left themselves no room for error on the side of KSU. The streak was called in with less than 20 seconds left, I believe. So again, you really give yourself no room to make a mistake. And Chattanooga, all they have to do is, with 1 second left on the clock, get a squad wipe, and that's the game. And that's exactly what they did. Having a look at our stats here, it was Trauma who led the way for KSU. Really not too much help from the teammates on that side. 27 untraded kills, a monster stat line, 3,000 damage put up. definitely really good game out of Trauma to try and keep things competitive. But for Chattanooga, what stands out to you here?
What stands out for Chattanooga right now? I really, you look on the side of Click, 25 non-traded kills. That was absolutely insane from him to be able to, just slay out with an SMG on Gavitu. Some would say it's more of an AR center, based map, but hey, you make the plays, you make them happen. And on offense, he led in the kills as well, 36. While they weren't able to, really string together an offense here, but they did bring it in the defense, which, you gotta look at none other than the man himself, Red Chase, who had 16. A lot of those kills were impact kills that got these players off of the hills and made sure that they were able to put their position of influence to the test.
Yeah, when Chattanooga decided that they wanted to end this, they did on defense. They would get control of boat, and as all 4 players, they would just progress up the map, and really, they wouldn't do anything too crazy. Someone held down the top side of the map, and then the other 3 players just stepped on the other side of the boat and just pinned these players off of spawn. And KSU just couldn't find a break for it. And whenever they did, again, there was 15 seconds left on the clock, so they had no room to make a mistake, no room to have any players fall. And Chattanooga, I think the intangible things that you don't get recorded in the stat line really showed for this team tonight. From the hard point to the S&D to the control, it was their map awareness, their map presence, and just their timings. They were all on. All 4 players made the correct play when they needed to secure rounds and to secure games. And so it's those intangibles for me that stood out the most as far as Chattanooga goes.
Yeah, now let's take a look at the roadmap that we had for tonight. And yeah, dominant 3-0 victory from the side of Chattanooga. That control got a bit dicey at times, but it was no problem for them. First, we went to hardpoint on Tuscan, 250 to 72. Then immediately on a search and destroy on Tuscan, where Click was the man of the hour for that one. Went 6-1 in terms of score. And then we went to the control on Gavitu, 3-2 in a round 5 victory. Chattanooga overall taking the games and the series 3-0, and KSU unfortunately just were not able to pick off a map from them.
Unfortunately not, and again, I know maybe many people hadn't seen their initial series, but they played a really good team in Florida State really competitively up until the last map, and so to see them come out and drop in a 3-0 fashion to Chattanooga, again, you wonder if maybe mentally they kind of checked out after taking that loss, or maybe Chattanooga's just that good, and we're going to come to see this team really work their way up the rankings here as the season goes on.
Yeah, I would love to see some more Chattanooga coverage to see where this team goes. But, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it comes to that point in the night where, we have to end here. While we still have our alpha stream going on, everyone here at Bravo Stream, we've had it was an absolute pleasure to bring you the coverage tonight and to be here with Cash. It was so much fun. Cash, what did you think of tonight?
I thought it was a blast. Though we had 3-0 series, there were flashes of really impressive gameplay that we got to see. So I'm glad, again, to be on the desk with you and to be working with everyone that we are tonight. It's been a ball.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you guys go and check out our Alpha stream. We've got some great games going on there heading towards the end of the night. But I've been your host, OG Susano, joined by my co-caster, Cash. We will see you guys in the next stream. See you soon.